how they dropped today. And let's watch this start here.
So as the lights go out, we go racing and down towards turn 1. Nike trying to get the drop over the rest of that pack. Watch out for Fedetto trying to get into the mix there with Class A. Looks like it might be, it's Bob Neal into second, Fedetto to third, and it's Nike who has got the whole shot. So he's managed to capitalise on that pole position and maintains the lead over Bob Neal. Now Ryan Nike, of course, has slowly but surely got to grips with the series. New man to the series, new man to racing as well. Hasn't been around for a long time in racing cars, but he's not only participating in BMW Performance Racing Series, he's in the Gazoo Racing Cup as well. So getting lots of time on track, and it's helping him slowly but surely become a good contender in both of the categories.
We got to see the car for the first time at Kailami, and everybody will probably join me in saying this is a beautiful Class A race car over here. We saw huge pressure there by Andreas, the German, putting pressure onto that Class A car from Fabio Fedetto. Where's he made up to now? Still behind him. Will he make a move into the corner coming down from that little main straight?
Well, I know that Lee Thompson has been working hard on Bob Neal's car to try. Oh, the German's off. The German is off, heading down into that very tight left-hander. I don't know if he's going to get up that banking though.
That's quite steep there.
It's quite steep, and you can see him just trying to get the power down on the rear-wheel drive car there. And
he's moving.
Slipping and sliding. I was a bit worried about the splitter on the front of the car though. It's a low front end of that car, and he's very lucky to get up that little incline. It doesn't look like a huge incline, but when you've got a low car and a splitter on the front, it can catch very easily.
Did you see what happened there, Greg? Did you go down the inside there? I mean, we were talking about a move happening into that corner. I'm not sure if he went through the inside, and tyres are still cold, brakes not warmed up yet, and maybe just overcooked it.
A little bit too hard on the outbraking manoeuvre attempted there, but needless to say, that's going to leave Nick Macris at the front end of Class B. So not a bad start there from our Greek friend. He's had a fantastic season so far. Had a really good run at Kailami. But look where the Germans ended up. He's ended up almost at the back of the pack of all of the Class C competitors as well.
That's our championship leader there, Greg. So this is going to be welcome news to next, specifically Class B. But I'm certainly not going to be unhappy with that result, trying to chase for the Class Honours as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to certainly help out your aspirations of getting to the front end overall by the end of the season. Little fights happening in the Class C now, as you can see, slowly but surely being closed in there. The 48 car also becoming part and parcel of that. Renier Smith in there too, but I think Macris has got a little bit of work to do there, possibly to maybe just close things down and find a way past. Benny late at this stage.
Nick is struggling there, so that's the Class C pack putting a huge amount of pressure there. I see there's that Neil Reynolds car, that stricken E46 out there.
Now the one thing I mentioned just before you got here was I was chatting about the fact that I didn't see him on the qualifying list that I got. So he must have had a problem. They tried to sort it out, get the Valve Hospital car back on track, and it didn't work. And he's parked on the sideline. So that's a big pity there for Reynolds.
Yeah, really unfortunate. They had some teething issues throughout the entire practice and qualifying session. We were holding thumbs for race one over here, but it really hasn't gone to plan.
Well, as they head to where everything happened, we're about to see some more action down into that corner.
Look at the defensive maneuvers going down that straight. That's Neck falling back, so I think something's wrong with that car.
He's got a massive problem. 3 cars into one corner, and that's Gary Martins on the diesel trying to squeeze through there. As they come out of that one, I believe Paul might have a little replay for us of exactly what went wrong. Yeah, you can see he went up the inside, tried to find a way through there, and I think it was on Fedetto he was having a look on the inside of, and couldn't quite make it stick. As you said, possibly cold brakes, cold tyres, not enough grip into an almost 45-degree left-hander there.
It's great awareness from Fedetto in that M4. If he had turned in a little bit early, expecting both of them to make the corner, that could have been an ugly accident.
Very lucky to survive that one. The German is back on track though, trying to close things down. Curvin air conditioner's car, putting the pressure onto the back end now of Gary Martin. So Everstein in the mix there, trying to find a way to the front end. Not quite on the pace just yet.
Looking very racy.
Andre van Vuren actually. Andre van Vuren is in the Curvin car, beg your pardon. So he's onto the back end of Martin's, and he's made a way through and got ahead of Jan Everstein. So a bit of chopping and changing.
Big drama in Class B there. So we got Nick Macris, who was poised to take the class lead now, but he's also falling back with what seems to be a mechanical, probably a power issue. So that's going to leave Class B, I believe, open to Renier Smith.
Yeah, Smith leads out Class B. Baggioni in second and Nick Macris in third. In fact, he's going to drop by the wayside, probably all the way down to about 6th or 7th place now, as we saw him being overtaken down into that left-hander at the bottom of the short straight. So a little bit of problems there for Nick Macris. You can see him dropping down through the field there. He's already down and almost off the 16 cars we got on the timing monitor on the left-hand side.
Our Class C leader's got some work to do. Gary's sitting behind both Benny Late and Hein van der Merwe, and also Reynard Miller, who now leads out Class C.
And he's basically stayed there. He stayed out of trouble. So once the pack got split slightly by the off-track excursion, I think early on, there is Miller, speaking of the Amtech car, onto the short straight, and look at he's got a great advantage.
Running a neat race over there, so he's not going to see any pressure from Hein van der Merwe at the moment. A little bit of dust being kicked off there. Guys are really putting some pace through there. We see Andreas the German getting past some of the Class C competitors now. I wonder if he's going to be put back into the point scoring positions in Class B.
That's what he's hoping, and that's what he was hoping to do the last time they went down there where he got it all wrong. He didn't quite get up on the 373 there of Andre van Vuuren, but Van Vuuren saw him coming, and of course he doesn't have to give way to him. It's every man for himself out on track, even though you are fighting for different classes. It's up to the Foster car to find a way through on the slower cars, and if that slower car is not as slow as you thought it was going to be, it's going to make your life a little bit more difficult, which is going to hurt the chances of the German staying in contention for that top spot in Class B.
That's right. There's no hard feelings or respect or privilege given to when you're in track position. So he's going to have to make his way past all of those competitors one by one, and every single one of them is going to be a fair battle.
Ryan Nike just set an incredible lap, 158.231. And if you look at what he did in qualifying, he did a 156.8. So he's fastest on track at the moment in Class A. Fastest on track at the moment in Class B is Renier doing a 2:03. That's the massive differential there between Class A and Class B. But more importantly is, look at Leon Loubser. Loubser is putting huge pressure onto the back end of Bob Neal. Bob Neal's soaking it up in that Lee Thompson Racing Prep BMW. And I can tell you, I was about to say, Lee Thompson has put such amazing effort into that car. And whether or not Bob Neal's going to be able to hang on over Leon Loubser, we'll have to wait and see. Loubser, remember, is trying to make up for lost ground. He wasn't at Kyalami.
Great pace we're seeing on his Class A competitors, and this looks like going to be a move from Leon down the inside. Who's going to have the power to get into that corner and make up the spot? Looks like Bob's holding him off for now. I'm not sure how long that's going to last. It looks like Ryan's made up a lot of space, giving himself a really comfortable gap right now. But like we've seen, it's not over until the fat lady sings.
100%. Another important factor there, of course, is Neil fighting with Leon are going to slow each other down slightly. So that's a little bit of advantage, and you might just see them come through the foreground of the shot there. There they go. That's the gap. So he's out of the dog bone, heading into the right-hander, uphill right-hander, off camber, and that's probably at least 4 or 5 seconds up the road.
I'm interested to see what the lap times are going to look like right now. The past lap we saw basically 1 second splitting the Class A competitors, doing 59s around this track. Guys, this is incredible pace from these cars right now. And to see the gap that has been made up by Ryan Nike in that E92 is incredible. So let's see what kind of lap times we see from the duel that's happening between Bob and Leon.
If you can get under 2 minutes around Red Star, then you know you can drive a race car, I can tell you that much.
You're peddling.
He's absolutely hauling. I know that the bikers sort of try to get into sort of the low 1 minute 50s if they can. So on a four-wheel machine, slightly heavier machinery that you're playing in, getting under that elusive 2 minute bracket is an incredible bit of driving and a great effort. Speaking of good driving and great effort, look at the effort being put in here by the 33 of Everstein. Jan Everstein is closed up dramatically on the back end of Van Vuuren, and the Curvent car is under a lot more pressure. The German has been able to get through on both of them, and he's now got his sights set on Gary Martins.
Everstein's got some great pace. He's been practicing on Wednesday, and the car's been looking absolutely hooked up, and he's been driving really well. Setting the pace, however, in practice and qualifying, completely different to race situation. So, fighting against the turbo cars right now, he's really going to have his work cut out for him.
Amazing to think that a week ago, I was about to say, I'm giving the commentator's skirt there. Sorry, Gary. I was going to say, a week ago, that car was being slung up the hill at Neisner and did an amazing job to be in the mix in his class. I finished up on the podium there as well, the only diesel-powered car. But needless to say, I was about to say he's doing so well, but the pressure came from the German, and he unfortunately flinched slightly.
A lot of grass being built up into that front grille of the Grease Monkey Motor Garage M2 diesel over there. I'm hoping that's not going to impact cooling too much. There we see Jan again looking at any opportunity to get past that E90 turbocharged race car.
It's a fantastic run here from all these cars, and as they get into
Is that the Amtech car slowing down?
It is. It's Renier. Renier Smith slowing down. The leader of Class B has pulled to the left-hand side.
That's Miller.
Is it Miller?
Miller in the blue car.
Beg your pardon, it's Miller. I was looking at the wrong class there. My bad.
He was leading our Class C.
Class C, yeah. Class C's leader, Reinhard Miller. Amtech car there, Reinhard Miller now handing the opportunity to Hein van der Merwe to take the lead. Benny Late, and now Gary Martin's gifted third place without having to do too much work on the circuit.
The story's been turned upside down today. We've had our Class B championship leader and our Class C leader pulled off out of the race contention right now and opened the door wide open. And I will see who's going to be able to keep it together. We've still got a couple laps to go. Who's going to be able to keep it together on this Red Star Raceway?
De Gouveia having a good run. He'll move himself up into 5th place overall now for Class C with the demise there of the leader. So a nice run here from the chairman. He's hanging on for a possibility of still finishing up in the top 5. Front end though, Ryan Nike has disappeared from these two. But Bob Neal has soaked up a huge amount of pressure being applied onto the back end of him there by Leon Loubser. Speaking of pressure, Everstein continues the pressure on the back end of Van Vuuren. This is for 11th and 12th place on track, but of course it's a fight for the mid-pack of what is Class C.
Great job to Mr. Van Vuuren over there, to hold up against this pressure right now. Jan is absolutely relentless with putting the pressure on and taking looks at every single corner. And that's just simply not easy to have that in your rearview mirror happening time and time after again.
The German's ticking them off one by one. Can he possibly still find a way to the front end of Class B? He's got Baggioni. I don't think he's going to catch Rainier Smith, but certainly Oz Baggioni's well within his sights and well within his grasps for the next 2.5 laps to make it up onto the second step of the podium after that off-track excursion. Big move and a touch! Oh! Everstein getting frustrated, trying to find a way through there and just tag the curve end car.
Got yellow flags into that corner over there.
Now let's see whether or not that car can get going again, because Van Vuuren looks like he might have stalled it on the spin. Van der Merwe comes through there, leading out our leader of Class C, of course, now. Benny Late behind him. And there comes the German.
We'll need to see if Andre Van Vuuren's able to get that car going after that little incident with Jan. There's a couple of cars now stricken across the racetrack. We looked at Neil Reynolds. We had the Amtech racing car of Reinhard Miller. So a couple more, and we might see a safety car.
We'll have to wait and see if that car gets going or not. It's actually just over our shoulder here, and I think he might have got going. Oh, there he goes. He makes his way down towards turn 3. So lucky to get that car fired up again. The curve end air conditioner's machine back up on track, and looking now for a chance to make up as much ground as he can in the next lap and a half. The German's made up huge amounts of ground.
He's made up some good ground, but I must admit I was expecting some faster pace. Andreas set an incredibly fast lap time during qualifying. I believe he did a 2:01 this morning, so incredible pace in that race car with him. So I was expecting him to get through this Class C pack onto the back of Class B a little faster. I wonder if he sustained some mechanical damage in that first lap incident.
He might have possibly even some grass on the grill, as you said, could be affecting the heat of the car. Is it maybe cooking? You can see how much grass is on that front grill. So it's just affecting the airflow.
And he's slowing down now. I certainly think there's a cooling issue right now. To have that kind of pace versus a naturally aspirated car on the main straight, he's definitely suffering with the power issue at the moment. I wonder if he's going to be able to make it to the end.
Well, hopefully he can. They've got, according to us, 2 laps to go. So 2 more of these to be sorted out before we wrap things up. And he's probably just thinking to himself, I wish I could just go for a quick splash and dash and guys can just pull all that rubbish out of my radiator grill. That would help out a huge amount. Bob Neal continues to keep out Leon Loubser though. I wonder if Leon's hanging in for maybe a last lap go here, and so that there's no opportunity for Bob to come back at him.
Greg, what's happened to our timing sheet? I see Bob Neal is indicated as in the lead. Have we lost Ryan Nike?
I think we may have.
Is Ryan Nike showing at 11th position? He's
dropped down somewhere. Ryan Nike, is that Ryan going into the pits there?
No, that's Gary Martin's.
Gary Martin's going. Well, he was about to go in the pits and then decided no. Limp mode has come back into motion and he's got going again.
And he's going to jump right in front of Andre Van Vuuren. So that's going to be an interesting first corner.
I was about to say, why is Bob Neal at the top? We went to the picture of him, and as I saw that, I saw Bob Neal hit the front end of Class A. So Nike must have made a mistake somewhere on track. I'm not quite sure where. Or he's gone into pit lane with a bit of a problem. So that's such a pity there for the young man. He was having an absolute blast. We are going to try and find him according to...
So that's it, Bob. Bob contending now for the win.
Yeah, this is 1 and 2. 1 and 2 on track. Fabio Fedetto way down in 3rd, not really going to be involved in the fight for the top step of the podium. There you can see Neil Reynolds' car. That is the chairman in the background. But I don't see Nike's car anywhere on the shots that we've seen so far.
How close is Leon Loubser right there behind Bob Neal?
Yeah, right
there. It's going to be immense pressure on these last lap.
That is exactly what we want to be seeing. The pressure being applied, huge. And cutting through the field there slowly but surely.
That's Oz Baggioni getting past Fabio Fedetto. So similarly, I wonder if there's a mechanical issue there. That Class A car I wouldn't expect to be having an overtake against it on the main straight.
No, certainly not. And of course, Baggioni now trying to close things down on Renier. So the fight for Class A up for grabs here as we see it. Down into the left-hander. Short straight completed. And as they get into this one, it's going to be very, very close for this last lap.
They're coming up essentially what we would call back markers, but that's who was leading Class B. That's Nick Muckris they're coming up behind, and I wonder if he's going to be able to let them past, or whether this is going to cause or present an overtaking maneuver for Leon Loubser.
Loubser's going to look for an opportunity if one opens up, that's for sure. Now they definitely are backed up by him slightly there. Muckris will hold the outside line. Oh, he goes inside actually. I thought he might hold that outside line, but remember the outside line is the race line, so he tucks out of the way and allows that Delmon Mining BMW, Pep by Lee Thompson Racing, to come through. And now it's do or die. Watch for the slipstream here. Possibly Leon Loubser going to have a go. By the top, no, he's not going to have a go. Not with that kind of pace. Look at the pace there of Bob Neal coming onto that long straightaway. The back straight is almost a kilometre long, and he just pulls away with ease to maintain the lead. And Class A win here, going to go to Bob Neal.
What an incredible outcome. Can you imagine what this car looked like after Swart Corps? This car was in pieces, absolutely destroyed, and Bob's just taking the victory here at Red Star. Great race.
Oh, fantastic effort there as well from Leon Loubser. Good to have him back in the M Performance Racing Series. Second place will certainly bring him back into contention. The German, it didn't go quite according to plan there for the first heat. Maybe in the second heat he can turn his luck around. It is certainly going to help him out, because remember, with the reverse grid he might have a slightly higher grid position than where he's finished up right now overall. And of course in Class B that'll be for third place that he's going to be getting there. It'll just be Nick Muckris ahead of him if Muckris can sort his car out. Fedetto still for third place in Class A, heading up towards the line. He's still got the short straight and the chicane to negotiate. And then further back on that one, it's Hein van der Merwe, who's possibly still going to hang on. And I think he is going to hang on for the win in Class B ahead of Benny Late and Everstein.
So it's really paid dividends to stick into it, and even with some mechanical and whatever issues the cars are struggling, there's just incidents galore across the track. So if you can keep it together and still get the car across the finish line, there's some really valuable points in there. You can see Andreas the German with that first lap incident pulling through third.
Good run there from Boris Gunpat as well. He'll finish up just outside of the top 5 in his class. So yeah, nicely done in the end. If we look at unofficially the results as they stand, Bob Neal, Leon Loubser and Fabio Fedetto, we're not quite sure what happened with Ryan Naka.
Yeah, so yesterday we qualified second. Today, that was this morning, qualified second. And then in the race now, everything was going good behind Ryan Nike until about lap 3, lap 4. And then I went off a little bit at turn 3. Ryan got away. Leon was all over the back of me, but I managed to keep Leon behind me and came home first after Ryan had a problem at turn 12.
Well, from where we were 3 weeks ago, we had a big off at Kailami, into the wall, a lot of repair work. Freddie's guys from Fast Development, amazing job. 3 weeks, the car's running, it's running, unbelievable, like a metronome. Yeah, looking forward to the second one, reverse grid. Hopefully we can make an impact.
Yeah, well, I qualified fourth, and then I managed to get past number 33, Jan, and also past Light. I don't think they saw me coming. I think I was closer than I thought. Then I had difficulties catching Miller. I'm not sure that I would have caught him if he didn't have his mechanical problem, and then it was just a question of bringing the car home in one piece and staying ahead of Light, and that worked out as it planned.